going to VAR. They're checking.
Hey, guys.
Check complete. Let's head over to the bar.
Yeah. And we're back again with another episode of the VARBAR podcast, episode 58. My name is Andrew, aka Rapping Drew, and I'm of course joined by our all-star cast. How we doing, guys?
We active.
Yo, what up?
We're missing a couple of lads, but obviously the same old people are here with me. We've got Prez, we've got Wisey in the building, Munu, Cha, Shambaz, Henna, and of course Money Mitch.
Yo.
Yeah, man. How did you guys find the international break?
Boring, man.
Dry as hell, man. Same old.
It's actually mad how boring it is. Only when it's like an actual competition, like
tournament,
the World Cup. Yeah, that's when it's lit. But fam,
nothing to write home about, I guess. So let's just start with the shits, man. Let's start with Jake and his beloved Chelsea. So obviously they welcomed West Brom over to their GAFF. And things did not go according to plan. West Brom beat Chelsea 5-2, and the battle of relegation is slowly but surely taking shape. Jake, obviously this was Tuchel's first L as a Chelsea manager. What went wrong?
Well, I guess the comment of international break, personally, I think I could have had it for 2 more weeks after that Chelsea performance because, wow, that was awful. I mean, credit where it's due, firstly, to West Brom. Their finishing was superb. It felt like every shot was either massively testing Mendy or it just went in. I mean, Callum Robinson decides he's going to become prime R9 when he plays us, apparently. We were sloppy from minute one. Like, Jorginho and Kovacic especially, but in our build-up play, we were just constantly losing the ball. Jorginho especially, like, he was... You say there's a man of the match. He was the worst man of the match by far. He just kept on losing the ball. He essentially got Thiago Silva sent off with his 2 fouls. Jorginho's 2 mistakes leading to Thiago Silva's 2 fouls. I think it was just very disappointing from a Chelsea fans' perspective in that, yes, like once you get a man sent off, there's almost a built-in excuse like, oh, if you lose, then you're a man down. But to concede 5 goals in an hour to West Brom, who like that's just
they don't score. Yeah,
that is disgusting. No matter West Brom's great finishing, it was absolutely awful. Like going to a back 4, I was really surprised we did that because it just shows off how bad our defense is in a back 4. And yeah, it was just like, that is an embarrassing performance. And it's carried on afterwards. Like, I think yesterday, Rudiger got thrown out of training after scuffling with Kepa.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was reading about this.
Yeah. So it's almost like you say, it's Tuchel's first loss. This is his first part of adversity now. And we need to see how he reacts to it. Like, it's almost like this is the honeymoon is now over.
wait. So what happened with Zuma and Kepa?
No, Rudiger,
Sorry.
Rudiger.
There was a scuffle involving them 2 overtraining thing, and Rudiger just got sent. It was after Tuchel sort of did the team debrief, and he basically just ripped into everyone, saying like, "You can't be conceding goals like this. Like, fair enough."
Kepa finished training.
But you say that, but all of West Brom's 5 goals were quality.
Yeah, like I understand they were really good goals. I'm not taking anything away from
some poor defending though, man.
Yeah, like what was it? The Diagne goal?
Bad then. I wouldn't panic if I'm a Chelsea fan.
From his own half into our box and then shot. Like that's embarrassing defending, even if you're a man down.
Jake, what did you make of Ziyech being sacrificed?
I understood it because I felt sorry for him. Firstly, no one deserved to on the pitch really. But when you're going into that formation, like I'm guessing the thinking from Tuchel comes, right, we're probably going to have to sit a bit deeper. We're going to need a bit more pace to threaten them. And of that front 3, Ziyech is obviously the slowest. He's not going to play centre mid. So I understand it, like keeping on Pulisic and Werner, especially after Pulisic had literally just scored. But yeah, it's harsh on him without a doubt, and you could see because they focused the replays on him afterwards, he was immediately gutted, and I completely agree with him.
Yes,
but if he's got anyone to blame, it's not Tuchel, it's Thiago Silva and Jorginho, really, for Jorginho getting Thiago Silva.
Pulisic is injured again, isn't he?
Yeah, he literally ran off just after half time, ran back onto the pitch for the second half, and went, "Nah, I'm not playing."
All right, Munya. Let's go to West Brom. Let's give them some flowers. How impressed were you with Pereira and Robinson on Saturday?
Fam, like they were just oozing confidence that my own team is lacking. It's like they were just up for it from the get-go, and like no disrespect to Chelsea, but they were just doing flicks and tricks, and like that just showed how much belief they had in themselves to be doing such things in a game against one of the best teams in England. I gotta hand it to them. They didn't fear. They gave Chelsea. You know what? Maybe you can say Chelsea didn't respect West Brom, and that's why West Brom just maybe were on the front foot. As I said to Jake, okay, maybe Dinier's goal wasn't the best, but all those goals were quality, especially the half volley from, was it Robinson? The volley.
I love that goal so much, man.
Even the build-up played to it. So, for West Brom, these are massive 3 points. Like, there's 8 games to go. They have a chance of obviously, getting out of the relegation zone if things go their way. But they would have come into this game thinking, if we get a point, we're happy. But now they've got 2 maybe bonus points. This could give them a lift. I do see them still getting relegated, but it's just made things a bit more interesting for them. And they kind of have something to play for, unlike Sheffield United, who probably don't have much to play for.
Yeah. Yeah, shout out West Brom and Big Sam, man. They done it in a different way this time.
If someone said to me Chelsea would have got 1 point from West Brom in those 2 games, I would have laughed at them.
Yeah, I mean, we've conceded a third of their goals this season. Like, that's just pathetic, really. No, I agree with where you're coming from. Like, they were all quality goals, but like I say, from Chelsea's point of view, conceding 5 goals in an hour, it could be prime Brazil. You don't do that. Like, you have a bit of personal pride from yourself.
I think we didn't touch on it. You kind of said that Chelsea was sloppy in the beginning, but at the same time, in the same breath, I'd say that you had the game in control, and then everything sort of changed when Thiago got sent off. It gave West Brom the confidence, but to say that you lot were sloppy,
I disagree, man.
I think it's a bit of a stretch.
I don't think that. I think control is a very passive word in that. I think Chelsea they weren't threatened as such, but I don't think they were in control when the game was done. I think Chelsea didn't start as well as I've seen them play in the last couple of games. But then what I'm saying is they could have built on what they had just started, and as you said, they were not looking troubled at all. Like, I thought, this is going to be usual procedure, 3-0, something like that. When the red card happens, then it changed the game. No, it definitely changed the game, and I just don't think Chelsea were in that much of an ascendancy in the beginning. I think it was a very passive game. It was lacking quality for the first sort of 10, 15.
But you know what
I think obviously the red card did change it.
What I always say about these games, especially after the international break, it's all about result. And for Chelsea, for me, it was one of those things of, okay, you got 1-0 up, don't lose it. And then Jake, after the sending off, it's almost the thing what captains always say is, let's get to half-time. You lose your captain, and there's no voice to get you to half-time. And is it you conceded on the stroke of half-time? Just before the half? So, so annoying.
Let's move on then to your striker, Jake. Obviously, I asked this question early in the season. I'm going to ask you again now. I know this is Timo Werner's first season, but I'm going to ask you this again. Do you see him ever being a consistent 15 to 20 goals a season striker for Chelsea?
I can see it. Like, I mean, at the end of the day, he's got to really. It's process over results. He's constantly getting into these great positions. Don't get me wrong, he is missing far too many. But I think he's got now in all competitions, like, I know you have to take that like almost with like an asterisk pinch of salt type thing, but in all competitions, he's got 10 goals, 11 assists.
Yeah,
it's not good enough at all. I'm not excusing that. But the positions that he gets into and the fear that he can induce in defenses with his pace, I think he can make 15 to 20. I think we do need an out-and-out striker or a focal point, or we need someone in that actual striker role where Werner plays.
Did you see his miss?
against North Macedonia. I did get
That was
treated.
bad. That was bad.
Was so poor.
That was probably his worst one, and I was glad it wasn't in a Chelsea shirt. But like at the end of the day, you have to believe that. And like watching him play, he had. It is hard for him, like because like we all see. I think he started off the season really well. Like he had 2 goals against Southampton, and I think it was the November. Was it November? It was either October or November international break where he came back, and then it nosedived from there. Like the kid's got it in him, but I think he needs to benefit from pre-season. But then he's going to be playing Euros. He's going to do all that. So he may
just a confidence thing, man.
Yeah. Like at the end of the day, he's getting in the positions. Like that's the first.
Yeah, that's the important bit there, Jake. That you said he's getting into the positions. You're seeing he's got the hunger still. So it's not all doom and gloom. You want him to finish. So I think
I don't see the hunger, man. I'm sorry.
No, but Andy, you seem like he obviously missed.
You think
he's just lack of confidence.
That breakaway goal, like he's chasing down 20, 30 yards just to make a chase down block, then runs the whole length of the pitch just to set up Ziyech for the opening goal. Like there is a hunger there, without a doubt. Like he wants it. It's just.
But there's 2 different types of hungers, especially as a striker. There's hunger, yes, to like win the ball, to create chances for your team. I agree with that. But then there's also a genuine hunger to back, and I don't see that. He hasn't got that hunger.
I argue his confidence is broken on that. Like you think, so let's say the Mount goal where he could have easily shot, but you can tell in his head he's like, right, we just.
You know what, man? That one, I'll give him the benefit of the doubt on that one. I can't lie to you. At that one, there was still enough time, so he had to do the easy thing. Give him the goal. If Mount scores that, we can get back into the game. There's still 25 minutes to play. But if it was like the 85th minute, 88th minute, and if he did that around that time, then I would have been like, yeah.
No, the decision was right.
I think the decision was right, to be honest.
But I just think when someone is struggling for form and a goal might change that form, you take the shot in it. That's what I think.
He's done that a couple of times where he's had that goal where it's like, oh yeah, now go on to it and score more, and he didn't.
Yeah,
like, I think
what I don't understand about this whole Werner thing is that Werner's 25 years of age. People are acting like he's 21 or 22, like he's an upcoming striker. He's going to all of a sudden in the next 2 years start scoring 20 plus goals in the Premier League. I don't see it. I do not see him scoring 20 plus goals in the Premier League at all. He's not.
What?
I don't.
Are you saying ever?
I don't see it. He might do it for one season, but I said consistently.
He's not going to do it.
I don't see it either, man.
I don't know where this is coming from,
bro. When he picks up the confidence, bro, he's gonna bag like he was bagging before.
Yeah, I said that.
Like,
I said that earlier in the season
before. But this is his first season anyway, so we always give that blind.
Let me ask you a question, yeah.
Go on, Mitch.
But what I'm going to ask you is, as a striker, confidence is when your manager is giving you, you're starting every game, you're playing. He is being played by the managers. They're playing him. They're playing him in that position. He's just not
still just have to finish. Yeah,
to finish. The bag though. Yeah,
he can't finish. So you can't. If
bro, he scored. Bro, this is nothing to do with what league is in. He scored 45 goals when he was at his
Bundesliga.
He scored, but that's got nothing. Hold on. That has got nothing to do with the chances that he's missing.
I'm with you.
What I'm saying is that's
in Bundesliga.
That doesn't matter. What I'm saying is.
By the way, what I'm saying is there was a striker who scored more goals than that.
Haller and that man all came from German.
Anthony Modeste.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, listen to this. All right, listen to me then, bro. What I'm saying is, I hear what you're saying about the league, but I'm just talking about the positions that we're talking about Werner getting in. He's literally, the reason why we're talking about saying he don't bag is because he should be bagging that. That's nothing to do with Premier League or whatever. It's just what we've... It's just what we've said of the...
He gives me
exactly. And Laka needed the confidence. And this season you started saying, oh yeah, Laka's looking right.
Laka's never confidence. Been your 15, 20 goals.
Yes, but that's the point.
Laka's never 21 plus.
And that's the point that I made, that this is Werner's first season. Remember that.
All right, let's see how we will end up, man. But there's certainly 2 camps in regards to Timo Werner. But yeah, me personally, to answer that question, I don't see it, man. I don't see it consistently happening. But let's move over to North London then, where obviously the big game of the weekend happened, Arsenal v Liverpool. It promised to be a key game for both teams, but in the end, it ended up a comfortable 3-0 win for Liverpool. Let me start with Chelsea. Let me start with Kenna. This season in general, our record against a traditional top 6 has been good, to be honest. Yet there was a mixture of nerves, but a quiet confidence that we would get the job done. On what side of the fence were you at the start of the game?
Yeah, I was on the side of where I almost fancy us against Arsenal always. And I think before the game, as people remember, I said 3-1 Liverpool, of where I'm still wary of the Kabak-Phillips partnership, but in the end, I just thought would be too good, especially with Jota back in pushing the other 3. I thought we'd have more than enough. The game played out that way, man. I know we didn't score for the first 60 before Jota came on, but as I argued with Char for a little bit, we were in full control. Arsenal looked at no point likely to even... I think they had 4 touches in our box in 90 minutes. 4 touches in our box. So
1 in the first 45.
Yeah,
45,
we were in full control of the game. It's just a case of taking our chances, which in the end, I think 3-0 flatters Arsenal, to be honest. Flatters them completely. Should have been 3-0 at half-time. And then come the end of the game, there was still Salah to Mane, a couple. It easily could have been 5s, easily. So, yeah, it was a great performance. Like, I think it's probably my favourite Liverpool performance in the league this year. I know there hasn't been many, but, yeah, from start to finish, I just thought we were in complete control.
Char, let me go to you. Obviously, Diogoal came up good for us again. He came on and changed the game for us. Is it time to officially retire Bobby Firmino to the bench for him?
Yeah,
are we playing them together, or so United? How do you see it?
I think Firmino's definitely got a role to play. Maybe I don't think it's a starter, but you've got to go with Potter in terms of as the mainstay in that team. He's a bit of a game changer. I think.
But you hit it there. You hit it there by saying game changer.
Yeah, I think the biggest compliment I can give him is he doesn't need many touches on the ball to be influential. And I think that's it's a massive compliment. And I think I've said a couple of times, I'm just vexed that Liverpool almost like unchallenged in signing him for what is in this market quite cheap. But yeah, quality player, man. I think he deserves his.
Andy, just on that one, on Bobby, I know we argued against this. I thought Bobby was exceptional, to be honest. And
exceptional.
We spoke on it.
Yeah. Thabz was right.
Exceptional.
Yeah, for me, he was. He did what Bobby does without scoring away. He knitted everything. Bobby was the link play. How many times did Thiago and Fabinho find Bobby in behind the lines of where Partey and Ceballos would just turn?
Quite a few times.
I think Fabinho was exceptional. I think.
Yeah.
What's his name? Firmino was good. I think he was very good.
Yeah, exceptional is a stretch. He was just. It was calm. It was calm.
Can I just say though, that Chart earlier you said about Jota being the game changer, and I feel like Klopp is still going to continue to use him in this capacity rather than exhausting him in the start and then there's got nothing to bring on. I feel like Klopp would rather bring Jota on at most games.
I think he done that because of the Champions League though.
Yeah, he's definitely starting.
I think Jota played he played every single game against Portugal, didn't he?
Thabz, are you talking about like going forward, like into next season, or are you just talking about like for the running of games that they have left for this season?
I mean, maybe next season he might just have to start him. Depends on what happens at Liverpool in terms of personnel like Mane, Salah, and them, man. But I was just saying that as because I seem to just see that he likes the front three how they are, and Jota can always just come on and change the game. But if he starts him, he doesn't have that dynamic to then come, you know what I mean, to come on and change. I hear that. So that's why I was saying that maybe he might just be that guy.
Let me tell you one thing, man. That Jota's starting games, boy.
Yeah, I think personally it's one of them ones where like on merit you have to start him. Like he brings too much. Do people remember
when we played City early on in the season before?
The 4. You played the
4-2-3-1.
Yeah,
I think that's what he's going to do tomorrow. I hope
if Bobby doesn't get shipped in it, if he doesn't go.
But that's why I said that it's the personnel that's going to obviously change the dynamics to see what happens for him as well as a starter.
Now it's going to be interesting, but the whole team was brilliant, man. Oh, and let me give a shout out, man. We've spoken this for a couple of minutes, but Trent, come on, man. Trent was absolutely magnificent.
Like, I don't know what people are talking about. That chart.
I'll be honest with you,
I don't know what people are talking about. What we're talking about.
let me land on this matter, yeah, because I was listening to Gary Neville and Jamie Carragher sort of going through it in
listen, I heard that as well.
And yeah, no, I agree with Carragher more than I do with Neville. I do understand what Neville's talking about, but I do think that his pros outweigh his cons.
Basically, Gary Neville said when England goes into the latter stages of the tournament and they face more serious opponents, Gareth Southgate would rather have Reece James over Trent. Cap.
And Walker over Trent and the rest, basically.
That's cap. What kind of cap is that?
That's big cap.
Bro, when Trent has played Champions League finals, he locked off a whole side against Madrid. Come on, man.
Don't get rattled by that comment, man. That's his United.
Bro, but I got round, fam. I was like, what the? These James.
But Drew, you can agree that most teams, if they're looking at how to infiltrate England,
that's fine.
That side of Trent.
That's fine. But the fact of the matter is, Trent has performed well on the big stages in finals in that position against able. So that point he made against facing Jota, Ronaldo, whatever, is mute because he's done it against those type of players.
True, it's true.
Is that in a back three though? Because I remember we had this discussion a couple of weeks back where we said that in a back three is a different story.
That's the thing.
Isn't it? To me, it's not. To me,
I think it is because if it's a back three, then what's his name? Trent will push up even more, which will leave spaces down there.
But then he has the protection. That's the point of a back three to give you protection.
Gents,
I think he's playing a back four.
I told you that Trent's gonna play, man, and it was just to get him hungry a bit. That's all it is. Because as you can see, remember Jake spoke on it that if England don't take Trent and England don't do well, that's on Southgate's head. And already Klopp came out, spoke about it, saying, that's odd. That's odd. And a lot of people are coming out speaking on it. He's going to be forced to do it, even if he doesn't want to.
No, but do you know what the thing is, though, with Trent, though? Think about it this way. Do you actually see, like, Gary, what's his name, has taken a massive, massive risk in it and dropping him for the last couple of games when he was fit? What, do you see two, three friendly games, he's going to bring him back into the fold? I don't see
That's the thing, yeah. I don't see it either.
I think he's made his bed now.
Bro, he has to sit on it. It's almost me now. You have to just go and back himself.
Because if you pick Trent, it's like, what?
Yeah, the only way Trent will be picked is if there's an injury there. But let's see, man. Let's see. Let's move over to the Arsenal boys, man. Because obviously they were involved in the game as well. Tabo, let me go with you. Obviously, Pepe, Lacazette, Yang, Odegaard, Partey were all on the pitch Saturday, starting as well. It promised so much needed attacking impetus from Arsenal, yet this was far from the reality on the day. Why do you think Arsenal did not get going at all on Saturday? Without giving Liverpool too much credit, like just...
I think you remember the first 5 minutes we were all arguing about that first initial tackle or whatever. Straight away, when the game started, none of our players looked like they were on it.
Don't let Mitch hear that. Don't let Mitch hear that.
And we had an argument about it all on club. I was like, nah, man, whatever, they can get back in the game or whatever it was.
That Mitch.
But for me, we had the discussion, Munya. I think we even made a joke about what the gaffer says, like, make sure your man knows you're there.
Yeah.
And Arsenal, not one player, deserves a shout out for the other night. They were all terrible and bad. And I don't know what it is. I mean, Arteta came out and said that it was on him. I don't know whether it was just like some sort of, defense mechanism for the players, but he blamed himself for the defeat, for the players not turning up. And it was just embarrassing. There's not much I can actually talk about. Sorry, go on.
Sorry, Thabz. I think he blamed himself for the tactics. I think he probably he should have gone more defensive.
Yeah,
that's what I think. By the way he was talking,
more defensive. Could they have been more defensive,
bro? I think they were. I think they were forced to defend, but that wasn't the intention to defend.
Yeah,
I think the intention was to attack the game.
That's the best way to say it, Andy. We were forced to defend because watching that game, Liverpool, we were just riding our luck. We had 9 lives in that first half. How we were not 3-0 down at half time, I don't know. So it is a case of maybe. Did he set up the team wrong? But you know what? I'm tired of this, man. I'm tired of this because what must happen for him to learn? Because you can't just be coming saying I set this team up wrong, bruv. This is important points right now. You can't be telling me after the game you set the team up wrong, bro. Like
Munya.
I got a
What would you
question.
have
Actually,
changed though?
that's what I was about. Munya, I got a question for you. To be fair, with what we had on the bench, what would you have preferred the lineup to be?
Oh, where did I question the lineup? He just said the tactics. I didn't question the lineup.
What would you have preferred us to play as with the lineup they had?
That's why I said I think Arteta was just blaming himself, but the players just didn't turn up. They didn't show up.
Yeah. What I was just saying to my dad was like, look at how we played against Spurs, so how we played against Liverpool. Like, I don't get it.
This is what I was about to say to you, right? So with the regards to how Arsenal lined up yesterday, and I've said this before and I'll say it again. If you're going to start the game with Pepe, Lacazette, and Aubameyang starting, you are basically 3 man down already defensively. They're not the most defensively minded players. They're not going to do that. That's the reason why.
If he's not going to be positive, this is what I was asking of where he actually tried to be positive. He put out his best attacking.
Exactly. And it's one of those. No, but to be honest, he wouldn't have started with that team if everyone was fit. He wouldn't have, because that team doesn't win you a game against Liverpool.
But then he could have gone Willian, and then I'm pretty sure everyone would have gone.
Is off form. This is what I don't get about these.
Mitch, don't do that, because you would have added. Because you was don't do that, because when the lineup came out, all of you guys were excited.
No, exactly, and this is what I'm saying.
I didn't comment on the lineup.
Why are people now saying, "Oh, he should have started Willian"? If Willian was starting, there would have been complaints. This is what
who said he should have started Willian?
Bro,
Kenna said it.
No. I'm saying
Kenna said it. And at one point, someone actually said he needs to bring on Willian. I was like, this is the same Willian that you've been at him for 6 months. This is the same Willian. Now you want him on the pitch.
Like you just said, he's on form. So
when there's nothing happening,
and you say anything, bro.
There was nothing happening anyway, bro. So we were just saying,
where's even getting Willian?
Willian has been on form lately. In the last couple of games, he's assisted. Has he not?
He got 3. Where?
He's assisted. You're saying he's not been on form. Bro, I don't know when he last played.
About 6 games.
We can go round and round.
Finish off the point, man.
We can go round and round and like say what could have been what. But Mitchell, what I said to Thabz, this is there's fundamentals and basics in football. They say play by the whistle. If you don't start that game with the intention to win, you've lost it already. And we lost that game in the first 5 minutes. There was no intent for us to come to win this game.
Nothing.
It was just actually so disappointing.
I think that's the biggest problem.
Munya, just on that.
And when I look back,
how can that be the biggest? This is what I'm not understanding. How can the biggest problem be that 5 minutes we didn't start well? I'm saying this. Arsenal always do.
Bro, you set the tempo for the rest of the game.
Let me land. We don't start games well. It's as simple as that. We never do.
How can you then?
I'm not saying it's a good thing. Hold on, let me land. Then you've got the West Ham game. We started 45 minutes. We played absolutely dog shit. So we got 5 minutes. We started rubbish. This has happened before. We've never start well. But when you've got the biggest problem we've got Arsenal is you've got your captain of the club, one of your senior strikers of the club, your most expensive player playing up top, and there's no threat. There's no threat at all. It's disgusting. And this is not down to Arteta. This is not down to the manager, because he didn't bring Pepe in. He didn't sign Lacazette. And he didn't bring Aubameyang to the club. So how can you now say, Arteta's tactics? He had nothing else on the bench.
This is what Arteta said, mate. This is what Arteta said. We're not saying it. But we don't know. Bro, that's the first time he's come and said, you lot should blame me. That was my fault. That's the first time he said it.
That's why I asked earlier, what would have been different?
Is it, to me, it kind of is Arteta a little bit, because I seen a stat yesterday of where, first of all, the XG, Arsenal's XG against Liverpool is the lowest.
0.09.
The lowest since XG started being recorded for Arsenal Football Club. And then I've seen under Wenger, I think it's only one season in a game where you haven't scored at home. Under Arteta already, it's 7 games at home. Like, Arteta isn't creating almost a system which allows you to score. I think
when we said this,
oh my god,
bro, we've been through this at the start. Why are you lot acting?
No, bro, we said this, and you man were blaming the players.
Bro,
you just kept saying it was the players. That's what you were saying, not anything else.
No, but we said about the quality of chances, and Kenna just said that game we created nothing, which is the worst since XG started. At the start of the season, we were complaining, but they were still creating quality chances. We didn't create anything, bro. The only chance I remember, was Pepe's header, which Munya was like, oh, it's on target. Bro, and it was barely a header on goal. Like that's the only shot I remember.
It didn't even count.
From outside in it, I can just say that I think the buck stops more on the players at this point that this game. Because bro, you didn't do the basics. You weren't running more than Liverpool. You weren't getting to your first.
This is what I'm saying. Like
it's all well and good doing the tactics and well and good, but like bro, your players do it that didn't do nothing.
I'm really not here for all this tactic talk because regardless of what tactics you're told, you are a professional football player. Basics, You're out there to perform. So regardless if the tactics are wrong,
can I just say one more point?
Wait, hold Thabz. You're gonna perform. Like, some of us have played football. Do you come into a game and not want to bother? Because that's what I was seeing on the pitch. They didn't want to bother. As professionals, you do what you're meant to do, and I'm sick of it, man, because they didn't do. Oh yeah, they didn't do nothing.
Go on, Thabz.
I just wanted to say, at the end of the day, it's like this. As fans, we go into games like West Ham. We were skeptical, saying, yes, you know what, this team is going to bounce back now, and we can kick on. Liverpool, this is probably the best chance that we had in a long time to say,
You said, and I quote, it's a 50-50 game.
Yeah, because I felt exactly. Hold on. I was saying that this is the best chance that we're gonna get to play and beat Liverpool, right? When they're not at their best at the moment. And imagine Liverpool got confidence booster for their Champions League game, and now we're heading into our Europa League game with our heads down. We don't know what's gonna happen, bro. It's a shambles. Like the players don't replicate how the fans feel, and I keep saying it all the time. And someone in the crowd will be like, what do you mean? They know this, they do, but they're not showing us on the pitch that they know what it means to play for the team or what we want as fans. They're not doing that. Bro, they're not doing that.
Press, let me go to you.
Yeah,
because obviously in the big games, apart from the games v City and Liverpool, Arsenal has performed good and inspired against the traditional top six. But obviously, based on last night's evidence, do you think it's just a case of Arsenal being far behind the current and soon-to-be champions, or are Arsenal far behind the top six in general?
I think it's the second one for me, man. I feel like Arsenal still have a lot more to figure out than maybe results that they've gotten suggests. I feel like they still do need a couple of pieces to make them the side that they were reaching consistently reaching the top four. I feel like they still need another good centre back. I feel like they still need they have Odegaard at the moment, but we'll see how long they're able to hold on to him for. I feel that they still need like that attacking midfield type of player. I still feel like they need a solid striker as well, because I mean, Aubameyang has shown his inconsistencies. He's shown, that.
But do you think they're far off the likes of Spurs? Who else? Chelsea, United.
I feel like, I mean, we had this discussion, with Arsenal fans, myself, Char, and Thabz, Mitch, and a couple of the other Arsenal fans who felt like they were closest to us in terms of, being able to get results and maybe structure of the team, etc. But and at the time we said, I don't think we're close at the moment, and I still stick by that. I still feel like they have a way to go before they consistently are able to break into the top four. Would you say
that's down to ability or mentality?
A bit of both, man. Because I still feel like you do need a couple more players to make yourself. Like you're still playing Jacker, man. Like this.
I get that, right? But then if we look at it like this, look at how West Ham, those players are not better than the names that we have.
Yeah, agreed.
Remember what I'm saying? The names, but those boys all play for each other as a unit, and there's togetherness. There's nothing like that.
That's debatable. That's debatable. That's debatable.
Leaders, man.
Thabz, so no, I'll ask that, and Prez as well. I'll ask you on this. If I ask you what's Arsenal style, what would you say?
Right now, I don't know what Arsenal style is, bro.
But West Ham, you do. That's the difference. West Ham, I think you do know what you're going to get from them. They know what they need to do. I'm not sure Arsenal do. It's a massive issue.
So is that Arteta not knowing, or the players not being able to do what Arteta wants?
Arteta for me, man. Arteta for me, because Moisey
doesn't have a picture of players.
Yeah, go on.
So would you say Arteta doesn't have a picture of what he wants his team to set up like then? Because I personally, I look at his team and I say we're more structured and better defensively, which is good. He's worked on that. We are better defensively as a unit at times, especially when we've got the right players on the pitch. That's the problem I have when there's not certain players on the pitch defensively. We're just not as good as a unit.
Bro, we sat here this time last year talking about Arteta being a better coach than Ole and Lamps, like because of his style of playing.
That's a can of worms, man.
Why all of a sudden now we're talking is that Arteta? Yeah, come on, man. Nah, man. I think it's more the players.
But this is what I'm saying. He's as a coach, he's very good because he knows he has a way he wants to play, and I'm sure he does.
What's his style? Because I actually don't know. I thought at the beginning, Chad, just adding.
I know. This is what I'm going to try and say.
He's a hybrid of Wenger and Mourinho, man. That's
what I'm going to say. It's confusing.
You man are not realizing that Mitch was saying Arteta is a good manager. He wants to have a style, but
and
the players.
That's why he's always going to get that grace. He's always going to get the grace until he gets his team. He's always going to get that grace.
Right, we let you speak. Wait. So, but people just jumping in like, what the hell? Like Thabz said, we just don't have the players. Like Arteta is invested in a team. Like Peter said himself, we have Xhaka. Bloody hell! Like there are players there that shouldn't be at the club no more. And this is just going back into like just Arsenal as a club in general. How we retain players, how we move players. It's a shambles. So
can I just say though, one last point. We shouldn't be making this excuse because these players are still good enough at least to get that top 6 that Andy spoke of, saying that how far are we off that? These players should still be able to deliver that, and they're not. Like they don't look like they're on it and they're gonna deliver that.
But this is why I preface the question, where like obviously against Liverpool and Chelsea, I think in both games you were kind of like outplayed. But like in the other games against Spurs, United, you've kind of played well, and in some of these games actually collected points. So are you actually that far off, or like what's the issue? Because
it's the inconsistency.
I actually don't know what the answer is.
It's the inconsistency. And the mentality. That's why I asked Prez, is it the ability or mentality?
All right. Yeah, go on, Prez.
Yeah, no, just quickly. I mean, obviously, I already said I think is a bit of both. Like, I still feel like, however long, are we coming up to 18 months that Arteta has been in the hot seat now? Maybe longer?
Something like that.
Yeah, I feel like we're still questioning his tactics and whether there's an identity, and the group of players, in fairness to him, aren't up to scratch. So I still feel like he's going to get that grace until he gets that squad that, he needs to feel like he can implement his style. Until that point, we're not going to be able to say, is Arteta it or is he not it until then.
Yeah, I agree. Let's move over to their North London rivals then. Neighbours, sorry. In the El Jurassico, as they called it, yesterday, Spurs went away to Newcastle yesterday. After Chelsea dropped points, the mission was clear for Spurs. Beat Newcastle, enter the top 4, and have faith in your own hands. Obviously, Spurs being Spurs, it wasn't to be, unfortunately, as Newcastle recorded a much-deserved equaliser. Obviously, Strizzle's not here, so let me go to you, Kenna. Mourinho seemed to blame the players again for not being able to see out a lead against Newcastle. He at times even looks disillusioned when talking about his players. Do you now see his point, or is it still Mourinho out?
I've always been Mourinho out, man. But in the same breath, that was in Tottenham's hands. That's all players of where I don't know what Spurs players need to go out and beat Newcastle in this current state. Do you know what I'm trying to say? Of where it shouldn't need a Mourinho masterclass or Mourinho set them up in any sort of way for them to turn up and go and beat Newcastle. That was their best lineup. If you ask a lot of Spurs fans, they had Lo Celso, they had Højbjerg, they had Ndombele, they had Kane, and then Son came on. I don't know what more. They had Reguilon starting as well.
Wait, but they needed Bell, fam. Remember, they needed Bell.
On hindsight, they don't, but they couldn't complain, man. So I kind of get Mourinho, but in the same breath, man, it's.
Do you know what shocks me? That I think Kenna, what you're saying, you should be beating Newcastle. They let Joelinton score.
Yeah.
No.
And did you see the
Kill
goal
me.
as well?
He missed the sitter. Absolute
Do you know what's funny as well? If you watch that goal again from one angle, he could have missed.
Oh, he scuffed it.
No, this
crap,
guy
man.
is so bad.
He's actually crap.
Nah, but that Tottenham team, man, it's. I actually don't know what to say anymore because I get Mourinho's frustration. He's like, "Yo,
I think
we have more than enough," but in the same breath, he's
Yeah.
as well.
Sometimes we have to blame the players, brother.
He needs to hold the corn, man. I can't lie, bro.
Go on.
There's no way, bro. He's got in Kane and Son. He's probably got arguably two of the top, five to seven players in the league. Like, and we're talking about Arsenal on one side, saying that the players that they have, you need to find a way to obviously play them, bro. Like, just give the ball to Kane and Son as much as possible, and they will win you games.
Can I? Let me mention a scenario to you in that game. Yeah, sorry. Because yeah, I agree with you, but then again, the players on the pitch, they make poor decisions. There was one break here where Spurs could have made it 3-1, where it was like Son, Kane. I know you know which one I'm talking about. Yeah. Son, Kane, and Lamella. And instead of Lamella slipping it through to Son, he cut back and obviously Kane is also a good choice because he can, he will back. He nearly scored as well.
But the pass was Son.
And he didn't do that. Do you get me? So it's also things like that. The players on the pitch, they're brain dead almost like.
But my point is, Jose isn't a project manager. He's not meant to come in and make these players significantly better than what they are. So Spurs going in and then signing this manager here and now. And that's my point. Like, it's this whole grace period that the players this, the players that Jose Mourinho has based his career off making probably mediocre-ish kind of players at least solid at the bare minimum, like solid, hard to beat, and can create chances off the cuff. They're not doing any of that at the moment.
Charles, he'll argue if you put that to Mourinho, he'll tell you. You remember in the documentary, he told Kane, "Yo, under me, I'll make you a beast, bro." He's on 19 goals, 13 assists in the league. So
what about the rest of them?
Bro, I get you with the rest of them, but that argument, he'll go, "Yo, I've got the best of our best player, and everyone else isn't elevating," if that makes sense. Of where he's not telling, who was it, Sanchez, to pass it to Newcastle players, and then whoever it was it the centre backs not marking Joelinton?
No, to be honest, Spurs' big problem is they haven't got one good leveled centre back in their squad at the moment. Like the two, Alderweireld is past his peak at the moment. Dyer, then less said the better probably. Sanchez is piss poor. I can't believe how bad he is. He's terrible. And Rondon, again, he's not going to be the player that's going to come in and solidify your team. So yeah, they got massive problems there, man.
But Char, how because you watched the game, innit? How impressed were you with Newcastle? Obviously, a team fighting for every single point.
Yeah. In the league. They played relatively well. I think a point was the probably the minimum they deserved. I think they obviously scored the initial goal, which obviously was a well taken finish. Tottenham came back into the game through, I think it was Harry Kane, which was this the fluky goal? Where I think he the ball just sort of came through to him and then obviously he finished. But the second goal, the finish on Harry Kane, that guy is.
He's a killer, man. He's a killer.
Yeah,
that finish was mad. Like, bro, just the way he didn't even look at the goal. The ball just came over and he just lenged it. Yeah. So yeah, Harry Kane obviously and Diogoal. It was a beautiful sort of pass for him. But yeah, obviously I know the Arsenal fans will probably be quite happy about this. But Willock came on, sort of took the game by the scruff of the neck, and then obviously got an equaliser.
His level, man.
Yeah, that's a purely his level in it. But to be honest, if I'm Arsenal, I'm probably looking at it thinking we haven't got goals from our midfield. He's probably a decent option. But yeah, just concentrating obviously the Spurs game. I think the 2-2 draw was
good value.
Fair result. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Shout out Spurs. They're not in the Europa League, innit? So I think they're still in a good position for top four. Obviously, they're kind of relying on everyone else, like everyone else in and around the top four positions. But it'll be good to see where they end up. Let's move over to the last club to cover then. Manchester United obviously did good business in the race for second place after beating Brighton 2-1 at home. Obviously, Leicester lost their game against City. It was somewhat of a struggle, but United came through and conquered after Welbeck opened the score for Brighton. Prez, I watched the game, it was a bit in the background, but I kind of caught most of it. And for me, Mason Greenwood looked in the mood yesterday. As for me, it was one of the better performers for United yesterday. How impressed were you with his performance last night?
Yeah, absolutely, man. I feel like this has been, this isn't just like an out of the blue performance for me, man. I feel like in the last maybe handful of games, he's shown us like performance-wise that, he's starting to really knit things together and becoming a complete forward, complete young forward. And I feel like all he was missing from them performances was the goal. And he finally got his goal yesterday, a headed one for that matter. And yeah, he just looks really, really sharp, man. I feel like in terms of his output, goals and assists is sort of paling in comparison to what he did last year. But I feel like if he gets a good run of games leading up to the end of this season, obviously we've still got some important games coming up. It'll finish strong to the season, and then we go again next season.
Calm. Jake, obviously United this season have relied a lot on individual brilliance to see them through games rather than a proper plan of attack. They weather the Brighton storm eventually, like they have with plenty of other teams. But is this way of playing sustainable for them, or something that they can look forward to next season and mount a serious title challenge for next season? Or that's all they need to get a plan in place?
I think if you're going to overturn City and presumably, let's say, Liverpool, if they return to full strength, I think both Perez and Char can acknowledge that the individual brilliance isn't going to carry them to the title. Don't get me wrong, like, if you're going to rely on anyone, Bruno Fernandes and his risk-taking, you're doing pretty well there, obviously. But I think you do want more of contribution. You don't want it to be a case of when Bruno's not in the team, the whole game seems to change. Like, I think you almost witness a United team, and that speaks to both. I think that speaks to his brilliance, but it also speaks to the reliance. Like, it's almost like when Van de Beek's in there, it's a case of, maybe it's just the fact that his confidence from a lack of regular game time and the fact he is a different player to Bruno. I think they could definitely rely on Pogba being more consistently fit and playing, because I think when he's in there, it changes and there are a bit more of an established pattern and whatnot. I think when it comes to United in the summer, I get the whole need for recruitment of a striker, like out-and-out striker. But for me, I'd much rather, I think they would much rather, I wouldn't much rather, but have either a centre-back or a proper DM, that proper six that unlocks Pogba and Bruno going forward. And
how many years are we going to unlock Pogba, man? This is season 7.
I feel like, let's say Pogba probably just more. I agree with I agree in the sense that we need the number 6 to sort of play out, and then obviously have a base to obviously spring our sort of attacks. But I want to question more, Wisey, the question about the individual brilliance, because I was looking through it. I was like, don't get me wrong, innit? Bruno, his numbers are there for everyone to see, and I think to an extent we do rely on him playing well for us to play effectively. However,
he doesn't even need to play well. You rely on him to show his individual brilliance.
Yeah, but
quite literally.
The question was, do you reckon it's sustainable football in terms of individual brilliance? But what individual brilliance was there yesterday when we won?
No, I can answer that. I think there was a case of, obviously you were good value for the win, because you after being 1-0 down, and especially in the second half, you worked hard to get yourself in a position to get those, especially the last goal, a bit of a scrappy goal. Yes, but at the same time, the individual brilliance in Bruno, finding those passes.
Like
Rashford as well. That's come up very.
It was a finish, but think about it this way. How many times in football have we said that? Oh yeah, your team hasn't played well, but you managed to get the win. Where do you think that comes from?
I know.
Individual brilliance.
I know. But this is my thing. This is why people question United in terms of like, you're second, but you're not even the second best team in the league, because people are looking at United thinking, what is their plan? What do they do on the pitch? And more time people go to. More time.
I don't remember. Yeah. Okay. Cool. No, I just don't think I don't think we get enough credit for where we've been and where we're getting to. I think it's a very lazy argument to be like it's individual brilliance. I think when you look at it, I do agree with you guys that our players, me and Prez have been saying it throughout the whole season, our shooters don't shoot. You actually look in terms of our goals and where our goals output come from. Other than Bruno, none of our attacking players have got more than 10 goals this season. So
How much has Rashford? How much has Rashford?
19 in all comps.
Yeah,
bro, he's back as well.
I think he's got. Yeah, but I think in the Prem, I'm not sure if he's hit 10. I think he's got.
I don't know if he's hit 10 in the Prem, but he has 19 in all comps.
But I just think I agree with you guys that I think what my concern more is just that we need to get our front players who we rely on for goals scoring. So in that case, I do agree with you guys. But I think in terms of individual brilliant stuff, that
Let it run,
what the big teams have. Like, this is what we need. That's what any team needs.
You know, the more I watch United, I'm almost, because I was one of the people who's saying you don't have a style. I don't know your style. But then I don't know if it's almost overplayed of where sometimes I look at top managers like Carlo. I don't know a Carlo style, but he just gets results. So I don't know if Ollie's going to be one of those managers who in the end just gets results and you just accept it. It's not awful football, but it's not, let's say, passing football. It's not overly.
Yeah, it's not.
You just
I think
change
that's
it
what
out.
it is.
Yeah,
I think that's what I think it is. I think everyone's so used to the Pep Guardiola, the soccer. You know that side of football,
an ideology. He doesn't have an
ideology around football. I think everyone's so set on that they forget there's other ways of winning football matches too.
I get Chad. I think we're probably like to the death gonna not agree on this fully, but like I do hear it, but like that first half, man, was horrific.
Yeah, it was disgusting.
It was horrific, and I feel like there has been numerous occasions where we have had games like that, not only just going down, but just taking so long to get into the game, where you're thinking like they've got cement in their boots, like they're not moving, they're not passing the ball well. Like, you know, Bruno's trying to find space to popping up on the left wing, popping up on the right, you know, because teams are clocking on that, you know, he is our source of creativity. So they're almost marking him out of the game and, you know, forcing him to get into unorthodox positions to try and create something. And really and truly,
Brighton, though.
Yeah, Brighton set up brilliantly. Like, and I feel like
we always knew that game was going to be difficult. Anyway, I did anyway.
Yeah, Brighton.
Give anyone the team
that Potter, man, he needs a bigger team. I'd really like to see what he does at a bigger team, because the way they set up in the first half, and I feel like it was a thing where they almost couldn't sustain that level of intensity for the full course of the game, which is why we were able to get back into it. But you know, Bissouma, what he has Bissouma doing and what he has like in that first half, his Bissouma was brilliant, man. Like
he taking him as a 6, by the way, Prez.
Yeah,
what do you
I would say he's a 6, man. Like sitting in front of the back four, got a good range of passing, covers the spaces.
Gets around.
Yeah, he gets around, man. I really like him. But yeah, credit to Brighton, man.
Like, let's move. Char, stay with you. Obviously, in that game, in my opinion, Edison Cavani was one of the worst players on the pitch. He didn't really affect play at all. He looked very lost. But obviously, with Martial's injury, he's surely going to get a run in the side. But isn't it an idea to stick Greenwood at 9 and put James or Diallo at wide? And
you know,
or am I overreacting?
No. I think you're going to probably see that a lot more as the season goes on. I think the bigger games, I think if Cavani's fit, he'll play. However, Cavani, I think we've got 9 games left now, plus potentially another 2 or 3. I don't see him playing every single game in 90 minutes. So I think you're going to see a lot of Greenwood and James, or even Ahmad. I think Ahmad less so, because I can see. I think Ole's trying to ease him into the whole.
Yeah, Ahmad will be free next season, man.
Yeah, I think he'll get freed next season. But I think in terms of what we're doing now, I think you're going to see a lot of Greenwood as number 6. And I think that goal yesterday probably like illustrates that he is coming good.
Scored with his head, man.
Yeah, in the 6-yard box, which is where, like, I think Ole keeps saying that he needs to score his goal. So yeah, man.
There was this other chance he had as well. I think it was from outside the box where he banged it.
One when he banged it.
Oh yeah, he volleyed it. It was just inside the box. Yeah,
he is serious, man. That's my guy, man.
Do you reckon he could make a late run into the England squad?
Bro, you know in Clubhouse what I said, bro. He should be on the planes, fam.
I think
on
if injuries
alone,
he should go.
Wait,
I don't think
Anyway,
He needs to help. He needs to help out the under 21s. Like, they need goals right now.
bro, they're out of the tournament, bro. And Ketia,
Yeah.
watching it like us, man.
and Ketia ain't done nada.
Bloody hell.
All right, let's go to the bar then. Any shots?
Not in here, man. Just win the next 5 games, man.
Aye, Jesus has risen, so no one's drinking, yeah? I see it. Say no more. Remember to follow us on our socials, VARBAR Podcast on Twitter and VARBARPod on Instagram. And obviously, we're now on YouTube as well. Like and subscribe and all that jazz. We will be back next week with the Champions League and Europa League coverage and some more Premier League content. My name is Andrew, aka Rapping Drew. We are the VBP boys, and we're out.
Peace.
Easy.
See you later.
Hey, guys.
And it looks like they're going to VAR. They're checking.
Hey, guys.
Check complete. Let's head over to the bar.
Yeah. And we're back again with another episode.